I am back, and you are comfortably zoned with me, the Zigzag Man, in Alameda, California, Northern California, USA, down by, as Archie Bunker would have said, it's down by the lagoon where it don't smell so good there. Eat it. Where's my beer? And that's where the 420 studio is. And my guest is, as usual, for one reason or another, I'm bi-coastal much of this show's time because my roots are on the East Coast, living in California. And there's a lot of folks on the East Coast that I contact with on a very, very regular basis. I'm privileged to have back on my show a Renaissance man, a Brooklyn Dodger historian, and a New York Met fan. So with the first two come the burden of the third. Peter Trunk. Peter Trunk from New Jersey, huh? What do you hear? What do you say?
Ralph, how are you? It's good to hear your voice again.
Well, good to have a voice at our age. We are original baby boomers, and what Casey say? Most people my age are dead. You could look it up. So
that's what Casey said, right?
Yeah, and but it's a different world. Casey was forced into retirement at age 70, I think it was, with the Yankees the first time, and he proved that you can come back in your later years and make an incredible impression in this world. In one way or another, whatever your art is, whatever your music is, your storytelling, your comedic ability, whatever it is, it doesn't ruin it because you're a little older. Frank's saying well into his 70s, and he had some bad nights. He had to be propped up there so Barbara propped up. One more show, Frank. One more show. They got more out of Frank Sinatra than he's got. Oh, one more show. I got you in the But it takes a good woman behind you, I'll tell you, and or sometimes just a woman at all behind you is a good thing.
There you go.
And sometimes just keeping it in the species is nice. It's as you mentioned, as we were chatting before, it's all relative. So
it is.
It is. I want to talk to you. We'll talk a little baseball, but I want to talk to you about something that's monumentally important. And you and I are both left-wing Democrats, bordering on socialism. Call me a socialist, and I'll love it. I'm not speaking for you. I don't speak for my guest, but the Democratic Party is faced with some reality, and the reality is that things don't appear as if they're Democrats, those people in power. It appears as if they're Republicans, and not even moderate Republicans. If you compare it to a moderate Republican in 1956 when Eisenhower ran. And now we're faced with either what I consider Obama to be given everything, given Obamacare, and given how they hated him and they filibustered and they still to this day can't stand him. There are a number of things that I'm not pleased about. I mean, we still send prisoners overseas to be tortured. We still wiretap. He made a deal with Monsanto about GMOs. They're drilling all over the place for oil, so ecologically it's messed. And my point is Hillary, bless her soul, is looks to be more of the same, if not more to the right. And now Bernie Sanders comes along, and the party needs needs not be split. And we've talked about this on Facebook. We've gone back and forth. I want to give you time to word your appeal that the party keep it together for Hillary.
Great.
And just
I appreciate
take all the time. I respect your opinion more than you know, and I want to give you well, thank you. I appreciate that. And I'm going to just shut the heck up and let you go. So go at it.
All right.
Peter Trunk.
All right. Let me start off.
Peter Trunk Sr.
All right. That's it. Peter Trunk Sr. Let me just start off by saying I consider myself, when people ask me, what are you? And if I deem it necessary to answer that question, I tell them I'm a Democrat. I'm a proud Democrat. I'm a JFK Democrat. I'm a FDR Democrat. Okay? And I always have been. I was born in Brooklyn in the mid-'40s, late 40s, and I continue to be what I consider to be a progressive when it comes to my politics. But I will tell you this. Here's what I'm going to tell you, and I want you to listen to this because I deem it very important. I am not a person who believes in, never have, and I'm not a person who believes in conspiracies. I'm not one of those guys that are always looking up underneath the rocks and moving stones and seeing if there's a wire and, this and that and this and that. I'm not one of those. I'm not. But I will tell you this. There is a danger in Bernie Sanders. And I'll tell you why I believe that. I believe that very strongly. I believe that Democrats, like you and like me, are unaware that the NRA, remember I said I'm not into conspiracies, but I believe that the NRA, Karl Rove, the Koch brothers, and others have built a system of funneling dark money to the Bernie Sanders campaign. Anything to besmirch Hillary Clinton. Anything. A full-throated support of Israel, along with lining up tardily, I might add, with the eschewing of the Confederate flag. They were forced to do that, let's face it. And the thing that's dangerous about this is that what they want to do, this is my opinion, what they want to do is they want to promote Sanders to the point where, first of all, before I go any further, they know that Sanders has no chance at all to be elected. And you want to know something? Bernie Sanders himself knows. He's not a stupid man. He knows he has no chance to be elected. Bernie Sanders is not actually trying to win. I'm not.
Well, he could be vice president.
Wait a minute.
Could you see him as the vice president?
Hear me out. He's not in cahoots with these clowns. No, he's not. But I'm going to tell you something right now. Bernie Sanders can say almost anything he wants because he represents the ultra-liberal Vermont. It's almost like 180 degrees the other way, where Ted Cruz can be as asinine and ridiculous and fanatical because he represents Texas. At this point, it doesn't matter how fanatical you become. But if Bill Clinton, listen to this, if Bill Clinton came out for same-sex marriage in 1992, Bush would have won re-election. Bush number one, Bush's old man, would have won re-election in a landslide. And the reason for that is because America was not ready for same-sex marriage. And that's only one instance. They're ready for it now. We both know that. But they weren't ready in 1992, and they're not ready for Bernie Sanders in 2015 or anything like him. What they are ready for is the first woman president, Hillary Clinton. And here's the danger, okay? Here's the danger, and it's real. Democratic voters, not unlike us, become apathetic about Hillary when they hear all this stuff about Bernie Sanders. They hear Hillary is really a Republican, blah, blah, blah. She's not left-wing enough. They become apathetic, and that apathy, if strong enough, even just a couple of swing states next year during the election could be more than enough to ensure that a Republican wins the White House because of the Electoral College. All you need are a few thousand Democrats to say, you know something, I think it's right. Bernie's right, but he can never win. But, you know, Hillary's a bum. She's a liar. She's no good. I'm not going to vote. Well, if that happens, my friend, and somebody like you fill in the blank, blah, 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 wins the presidency and is a GOP candidate, and the Republicans are back in the White House, then
well, for a second, why don't you fill in the blank? Because I don't think there's a candidate that has shown themselves so far that it could win. Could be a dog catcher, Jeb Bush included.
That's fair. Let's say someone strange like Scott Walker, someone unheralded right now.
Right.
Let's just say Scott Walker becomes the president of the United States because people stay home thinking that Hillary's not liberal enough. So now Scott Walker's in the White House.
I think people are ready for a change, and Bernie would bring out the vote. Bernie would bring out the vote in Democrats' world. Right.
America is not ready for a socialist, an unabashed socialist. They're not ready for it. They were barely ready for a black guy. I don't know if they're ready for a Jewish guy.
I think they'd be ready for a socialist. But they'd be ready for a woman and not a Jewish guy. They would. I think.
Listen to me.
I don't think he'd be held back in this world.
Let me just finish. I only have a little bit. I'll jump off my soapbox in 38 seconds. Just let me finish.
Okay.
Now, Scott Walker becomes president. What's the first thing he does? Well, the first thing he does,
Supreme Court.
He privatizes. Well, you got to wait for somebody to die, but he privatizes Social Security. He does away with the Medicare perks. He cuts your pension. He cuts unions out. He says marijuana, no way, Jose, even if it's medicated marijuana for people that really need it, like people on MS or whatever. He cuts that out. Now all of a sudden a couple of people die on the Supreme Court. He gets through because the Republican Congress helps him. He gets through a couple of people that make Clarence Thomas look like Malcolm X. And then where are you, Zig? You know where you are?
Well,
for the rest of your life.
We're back in the McCarthy 50s.
And not only that, but for the rest of our lives, being that we're both kicking 70, for the rest of our lives, we're dead in the water. We're dead in the water, and America is a piece of shit. And that's what can happen if you keep on championing. If you keep championing Bernie Sanders, it's totally ridiculous. It's like the Mets getting Tulowitzki. It's not going to happen. It's not going to happen. Bernie Sanders cannot be elected in our lifetime. He might, someone like him in 2038 or 2040 or something like that. Yeah, maybe. Because the white people will be all gone by then, and people will be thinking clearer, and they won't have so much hate and anger and bullshit in their brain, maybe, but not in our lifetime. And that's why it's dangerous. I totally, truly believe that Karl Rove, the NRA, the Koch brothers are actually channeling dark money to Bernie Sanders. And they're doing
you
it
have
for
a link
one
to
reason.
could you send me a link to that?
There's
you know
no
what I
link.
mean?
That's Peter Trunk's brain. There's no link whatsoever. I didn't read that anywhere.
Okay.
I thought that all by my lonesome. But you know what? It seems
but you say I'm not a You say, and I quote, I'm not a conspiracist. So what made you change? So what made you change from that with nothing to? I mean, and you know how much I respect your brain.
This is what I think.
I'm not disagreeing with you.
This is what I think. I think, let's say, 40 years from now, we're all dead, but someone writes a book about the 2016 election. You know they're going to write a book 30 years from now, 40 years from now.
Yeah,
this will come out. We won't be here to read it, but it will come out. I am confident it will come out. That maybe it's not Karl Rove and the NRA and the Koch brothers. Maybe it's someone else. But there's someone channeling money into Bernie Sanders to make Hillary look like an asshole, and therefore making regular Democrats who might be in the middle of the road Democrats, making them stay home on Election Day, and therefore letting a Scott Walker-like type guy get into the White House, and then everything turns to shit. You can kiss it all goodbye because it's going to be gone. Everything's going to be gone. Now, if Hillary gets elected, just hear me out here. If Hillary gets elected, if two people die in the Supreme Court, you're going to get another Sotomayor. You're going to get another Ginsburg. You're going to get people like that. And that's something that's worth something. That's worth money in your pocket. That's worth brains in your head. That's worth a sunny day when you wake up in the morning. That's worth the doctor saying, we took the test and everything is benign. That's the same thing. You got to stick behind Hillary Clinton.
Okay, two things. First of all, historically, Supreme Court choices surprise us by either coming towards the middle or going towards the other side in their decisions, both ways. Just
why? Because of John Roberts? Because of John Roberts?
That was a big...
Is that what you're alluding to? Are you alluding to John Roberts?
I'm alluding to John Roberts, but not just that. And I don't have it. I did a show with Brother Scott, who's on here all the time, and we talked about, and it wasn't just John Roberts, who have made decisions that you wouldn't expect. You obviously have something to say about John Roberts. I'm astute enough to hear it in your voice. It didn't take much. I've only been doing this 3 years, but I got a vibe. Was it? So once again, take the platform on John Roberts, Supreme Court guy.
John Roberts is a strange man, in my opinion. He's like an ex-wife. Okay. Well,
then
this is
the best way.
This is the best way.
Should I be bringing it? Should I even be when you say that? Should I bring it up because it's starting to elicit feelings that don't become me?
I'm not talking about myself.
No, about me. I was thinking about
my. About you either. No.
Oh, yeah, my situation.
No.
Okay, well, how is he like? Okay.
He's sort of like an ex-wife, John Roberts. Some days he's really good. Some weeks you actually ask yourself, what the hell happened? I should still be with her. And other days you say to yourself, what a jerk off. Okay? Those are the type of...
Or an ex-husband. Let's keep it fair.
Of course. That goes without saying. An ex-mate. Okay? But John Roberts is like that to me. And if you want to gamble and throw the dice that a Republican president would nominate someone like a John Roberts or two, okay, then you're really, really gambling. You're really gambling with America.
I understand that. But I just don't see the Republicans. They are so polarized themselves that anybody that Romney, as an example, Romney wasn't a bad, absolutely horrible choice. Why? Because he was more liberal than some of the others that would have pleased the teabaggers more.
Zig, time out for a second.
Yes.
What do you think the New York Yankees felt when they had the Boston Red Sox down 3-0 in the playoffs in 2004?
Good.
They thought like
good analogy. They thought it was in the bag.
They thought like the Democrats now. Nobody's going to beat us. The Republicans are so screwed up. They can't possibly beat us. No way. They're fractured. They're stupid. They're idiots. Well, guess what? The country is fractured and stupid, and they're made up of idiots. And if you give them one game, and then the next game, and then the third game, you're in a Game 7, and if you lose the Electoral College, you lose the election. Remember 2000? You remember 2000 when Gore won, but he lost? Okay.
Right.
You get the Electoral College involved in this. You get the Electoral College involved in this, and a Republican goes to the White House in January of 2017. You and I may as well meet in Chicago and take a flight to Canada or England, because we can't live here anymore.
Yeah.
We can't live here anymore. Can't do it.
Well, there are a lot of people are so dissatisfied. The working poor. See, if Hillary is elected, there'll be more of that. Hillary is so indebted to big business that people are going, we need a change. We can't have CEOs making 450 times more than a mid-level guy working in a company.
You're preaching to the choir, Zig. You're preaching to the choir. What I'm saying to you is this. The danger is real. The danger of losing the White House to the GOP in 2016 is real. And the reason the danger is real, it wasn't real 6 months ago, 5 months ago. The danger is real now because of Bernie Sanders.
So let's say he just moves. So he moves the platform to the left, and at the end he gets up
back to the left. What? Let me ask you a question. What is Hillary and Bernie? What do they disagree on? Hillary agrees with everything Bernie has come out and said. She agrees with every single thing.
Really?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Look it up. Google it. She stands everything that Bernie Sanders said so far in his quote-unquote campaign, Hillary agrees with. Now, whether she's doing that for political reasons, who the hell knows? All politicians are a little scummed up. We know that. We're 68 years old. Nobody has to sit us down and teach us that. We know that already. Here's what I'm saying to you. Am I saying that she's the lesser of two evils? No. It sounds like that's what I'm saying, but that's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is,
tell me, then elaborate on how she's not the lesser of two evils.
Here, look,
because
elect Hillary Clinton, okay? Elect her, and then break her balls while she's president. Break her balls all you want. Write to Congress, go on Facebook, go on Twitter, write letters, go on this show that we're on right now. Do all that you can do to nudge her over to the left or whatever you have to do. That's fine. But don't allow the grand old party to take the White House in 2016 because, brother, there ain't going to be no country left.
I agree with you. I agree with you. But if things stay pat, I think that the country we know when we say there'll be no country, our country was JFK. It might have been a little Camelot there, but that Camelot's good on some levels. I don't think she can bring it off. I don't think she has the charisma. I think when you look back on Clinton's Bill Clinton's ecological misgivings, and keeping the planet together is a big one for people who are left-wing socialists, and throwing some money into education, and we got this police militarization in every city in the frickin' country. We got white cops shooting black kids in the back.
Mm-hmm.
We got craziness beyond fucking belief, and I think the people could get very excited. I think young people could get very excited about Uncle Bernie and get out the vote. And the worst that happens, he brings the platform to the left. He stands up there and he says, I want to take my constituents and have them all vote for Hillary. She's made enough. She's gotten it a little bit. She isn't disagreeing with my socialist ways. So if you say she's agreeing, then why isn't the country ready for a socialist? Unless you're saying she's just a politician like all of them, which I'm saying, basically with all of them, including Bernie. If I could be shown a reason, if you show me some sort of connect to the Koch brothers or Blackwater or whatever it is that these people, fucking Obama takes money from he supports Wall Street. He supports all of this. So in a sense, he's been hypocritical, but in a sense, money makes the world go round and keeping the economy going, and that's something we don't see is beyond one man's / woman's capability. I think that ultimately there should be a domestic president and a foreign affair president down the road, but that's another thing. I don't want to get it's a tough job. So
well, I don't want to become redundant, so I'll just close in saying in like a sentence or two. I'll just say this, that in my personal opinion, there are people and I don't know, corporations or whatever. I don't know what word to use, but there's people. Let's just say people. There's people behind Bernie Sanders that the last thing they want is Bernie Sanders to be elected president, and they know he can't be. So what they're doing is they're trying to hurt Hillary. Hillary's so far ahead of every Republican person, all 13 of them. Mm-hmm. She's so far ahead that the only thing that Karl Rove can figure out is somehow, some way, we have to trip Hillary up. They found out Benghazi's not going to work. Her personal emails isn't going to work. None of that's going to work. So what they want to do is they want to do this guy, Bernie Sanders, and they want Democrats to say, you know what, there's no difference between these scumbags. I'm not going to vote. So it'll be like 2012 and 2014, 2010 and 2014, where the Republicans just romped. They just kicked ass. And that's what they're hoping for in 2016. They're hoping for people to stay home because they're pissed off that Bernie isn't really running and that Hillary's a sellout. And then you're going to see Scott Walker or Ted Cruz or Marco Rubio or one of those assholes is going to get into the White House, and you're going to say, what the hell happened? Well, I'll tell you what happened. In 2016, you started to jump on Bernie Sanders' bandwagon. Just say, hey, Bernie, you're a great guy. Go back to the Senate. Everything's cool, man. We'll take it from here, Bernie. We got it. Clinton's our girl, and she's going to win. And that's the way you got to do it because of the Electoral College. And it's dangerous any other way. And for me to say anything more would be superfluous redundancy. So I'm just
okay. Then may I ask you this: if Bernie Sanders ran against any Republican candidate, say Hillary broke a leg somewhere along the line, right? You know what I'm saying,
right?
And it comes out that she helped murder that guy they drug into the park.
Okay.
Which may or may not have happened.
I get it.
Okay. She met a terrible disaster. She was horrible. We love her. So do you think Bernie Sanders would not beat any of those bozos?
I would say off the top of my head, just that, since you're asking me, and I have a lot of respect for you, and I'm on your show, right off the top of my head, without really sitting around and mulling it over, I would say he would get beaten. Not badly, but it would be like one of those Nixon-Kennedy things where you would have to stay up all night long, and somebody would win by like 100,000 votes and 2 electoral votes or whatever. I think he'd be beaten. I really do.
I would
think he'd be beaten.
Then I would say this. Careful how I word this. I may think then it's not worth the choice based on your argument. It's not worth going for him. Because if Hillary is winning so much at this point, why mess up the apple cart based on the Supreme Court thing? I may have to agree with you. Have to think about that a little bit. Can't totally disagree with you. I think your points are beautifully and articulately and succinctly. Have to give me some time because I'm really excited about Bernie as a person, as opposed to, and I was about Obama too. And this guy told me first time he said in 6 months you'll be sorry, and the people that voted for him people who voted against him will be sorry, and the people who voted for him will be sorry. Everybody will be sorry with what happened. And he was absolutely right on some levels. I think the man is a genuine hero, a genuine, wonderful president that, on a lot of levels, that could have done much more if they didn't hate him because he was a black man. Right off the side. That's a crazy world we live in, and that's so fucked up.
That's fair.
But it's true. And on the other hand, made a bunch of bad stuff is going on, including the drones and, we're back in war and we got this going and that going. We'll spend everything we are is homeland security. There's no other business in this world. Right. But still, we don't make anything. We don't export. We got ships coming in. I can see this here from the beach that is across from the lagoon. I can see the ships lined up to the port of Oakland in Northern California from China, with much stuff, and a lot of them go back half empty. So the balance of trade is fucked up, and things have never been worse. And I was 68 years on Earth. I don't remember when they were worse. So can you see that people are dissatisfied? That I start to tell you about the working poor who go to work 40 hours and can't support a family. I mean, that never happened. People wanted to work. Hey, you're a lazy bum like me. You didn't want to work. You suffered the consequences. But the people that were hardworking and worked all their lives and built up union jobs, fucking Reagan screwed the unions with the air traffic control, built the back of every union. Hospitals in California invented the homeless. So the Republicans have had their way with us. I think that party for 8 years been better. They've been the lesser of two evils, and I think now we could get a radical good change if it's worth the time. Hey, he's surprised by the amount of money he's raising and the support he's achieving, and he's getting until I hear it differently in terms of, like I say, send me the link where some of this. I don't think it's coming from Big Biz, unless, and I wouldn't put it by Rove. You can see him now. Let's get the backlash going. Let's split them up like we're split up. So that's. You had great ideas. Terrific. Thank you for that. Let's talk a little ball. Let's talk a little Mets ball. We're both Mets fans.
All right. Today,
a lot of what you said.
Steven Matz. They brought him up.
They bring. That? Oh no, I did not know that. But they won today, and they got off the schneid, and I just want to say this about Dees as a pitcher. he is the intangibles. He could give away a game. Like whatever his ERA is, he could extend the inning himself and screw things up. He's the worst fielding pitcher in the history of baseball. And I think what they're going to do, peace.
You're breaking up a little bit. Who is?
Oh, I'm sorry. Oh,
right.
I'm talking about. Anyway, I think he's horrible. But I think what they're going to do is put Hada at shortstop and move her. The other guy, not Herrera. Flores to second, and Murphy coming back at third. May sound stopgap, but it makes much more sense than the way that they've had it. I don't think
that covers up. But you know what that move covers up? That move covers up their inability to go and get Ben Zobrist.
I don't know why they won't get him because, although I'll tell you why they won't get him, is I don't think the A's think they're out of it. I'm out here and I'm watching them. I think they're going for 5 wins in a row, and they've got good young pitching. And Zobrist has been out, and they've been losing. Now he's back. They're winning. I don't think Alderson is that, or Bean is put the price tag a little higher on Ben Zobrist now that he thinks he can be in the mix, because no one's running away anywhere in baseball with it. But yeah, I would have liked to see him. He's versatile. He can play 3 or 4 different positions, and he's just a solid baseball guy. That would be nice. But I would have liked to. There are a lot of guys I would have liked to see them go after.
Of course.
And you alluded to something on Facebook that Wilpon needs to sell the team.
Oh boy.
Does he ever? He bought the team, by the way, from Doubleday, and Doubleday passed away earlier in the week, and I wanted to acknowledge that.
Oh, okay.
Nelson Doubleday, owner of the Mets, he made a few stupid remarks, I remember, and they could have been construed and were as being anti-Semitic.
Really?
I don't remember exactly what they were in the 80s. But I probably reacted in the 80s to those remarks more than I would today, because given that he's a Christian white guy, millionaire kind of background, who isn't down on minorities? Who isn't in a position of power like that back then? We came from an age. Marge Schott ran a major league team.
Oh God!
Right. So I think his selling out to Will Ponzi is. I love that nickname. I don't know where that came from.
It's a perfect nickname.
Yeah, absolutely. I think they ended up screwing Sandy Koufax. And here's what's funny: you're a Brooklyn Dodger fan. I'm a Giant fan. I think one of your heroes is Willie Mays. Just like one of my heroes, and I'm a Giant fan, one of my heroes is Gilliam, and another one is Koufax, and all that. As we get older, we hated each other's teams growing up as kids. And they hated each other. It was an incredible rivalry fueled by Leo DeRocher, who I'm reading about right now. I pulled a book off the shelf, as is my wont, an old book. This one by Roger Kahn, and I had it in front of me, and I can't think of the name of it, but not one of his famous books, but he summed things up, and he talked about Leo DeRocher. The book is How the Weather Was. Okay. So if you get a chance to pick that up on eBay or on Amazon, I'm sure you can buy it in paperback for 50 cents. Roger Kahn, How the Weather Was. And he does a big chapter on Leo, and a very interesting character from our youth. And my point is, our memories meld together. Without the Giants, for me, there's no Dodgers. Without the Dodgers, there's no Giants. Without the Yankees, there's a trilogy that we kept alive where in our lifetimes a New York team won from 1949 to like 1964. There was either a New York team in or a team that had played in New York, like the 59 Dodgers.
Right.
It was an incredible. We had a birthright of being in the World Series. I mean, it was incredible times, and boom, it fell apart with those two teams moving, and we will never. We didn't get to experience Willie. We didn't get to experience Sandy Koufax.
Right.
I mean, in their primes, that.
Exactly.
So, as fanatics, we were damaged, and I'm unforgiving of baseball for that. I think that to draw kids in and make them fans and then leave is inexcusable. So, we got the Mets 5 years later. I want to ask you what being a baseball fan was like after the Giants and Dodgers left at the end of 57 until the Mets were born. They were born in 61. They started playing in 62.
Yeah.
So, what was it like for you as a fan? Where did you go for your baseball?
Well, the last thing I would ever do, and I did not, is go for the Yankees. And what I did was, when the Dodgers first left in 58, I sort of liked the Milwaukee Braves in 57 and 58. I liked Eddie Matthews. I liked Spani and Burdette and those guys. I loved their uniforms. I thought they were really cool. But I still followed the Dodgers. And when the Dodgers got in the World Series in 1959, of course, they had like 70% of their team was the Brooklyn team, so I rooted for them. And they beat the White Sox, and I was very happy. And then in 63, when they had Drysdale and Koufax and Padres sweeping the Yankees, I was very, very happy, and I was still rooting for them. But when the Mets finally became viable in 67 and 68, and then, of course, in 69, but even before that, 67 and 8, when they got Seaver and those guys, then, of course, I really latched onto the Mets. I always loved the Mets. I used to go to Polo Grounds. I used to watch the Mets all the time on TV and everything. But I always had that yearning for the Dodgers, and I always thought, as a young kid, you're really stupid, and you think maybe they'll come back, maybe they'll return, whatever. You didn't realize it. They were making $7 zillion out there, and they were never going to come back. But, you kept a good thought and this and that. Even when I watch the Dodgers now, the Dodgers, I live in East Brunswick, New Jersey, and the Dodgers have been on my television set, whether it's going to be the Game of the Week or Channel 5, Fox Sports, or it's going to be ESPN 1 or ESPN 2 or TNT or TBS or MLB TV. The Dodgers have been on over 30 times. I've been able to watch the Dodgers this year.
Wow.
They've only played like 70 games. I've been able to watch them over 30 times on TV, and I still root for them. I still want them to do well. I still watch all their numbers and keep up with all their ERAs and their batting averages and all that stuff.
Right.
And I know that they have a couple of kids down in the minors that are just unbelievably incredible. I'll just mention one, Corey Seager. He's a shortstop. He's going to be the next Ripken Jr. He's just that unbelievable. Really, he's better than Jock Peterson. I mean, as a ball player. The Dodger players, the Dodger veterans said in spring training, this kid Seager is the best they've seen, and the reason they can't bring him up now is because of Jimmy Rollins. They got $15 or $20 million invested in Jimmy Rollins, so they're going to keep Jimmy Rollins there. But you will see Corey Seager come up. His brother plays for Seattle, Kyle Seager.
Oh, okay.
Really, really good ball player. A really good ball player. But even Kyle Seager says, you think I'm good? My brother's twice as good as I am. So when the Dodgers get Corey Seager up there next year, and they bring up this kid, Olivero, that they signed, the Cuban kid, to play third base and stuff, and Justin Turner can go back as being a utility man, and they'll probably have to trade Guerrero, which won't hurt their feelings because he doesn't get along in the clubhouse. And then they have this kid, Urias, a left-handed pitcher who is like ranked in the top 10 of all rookies by Baseball Prospectus and stuff. The Dodgers, with their deep pockets and all these young kids, have a very, very bright future going forward in the next 5 or 10 years. And that's going to be those are going to be my salad days. I'm going to be heading toward laying my head on the satin pillow in some funeral parlor. So like I'm going to, at least I'm going to have, the Dodgers are going to be a really, really good ball club for the rest of my life. So
nice.
I'm looking forward to that. I'm looking forward to that. And God forbid,
let's talk about the future.
But wait a minute, hold it. But wait a minute. By the same token, on the same level, if the Mets ever get sold to somebody, and somebody who's willing to spend, like who's the owner of the Dallas Mavericks? What's that guy?
Oh, that I know who you're talking about. I can't think of his name.
He was threatening to buy
the Mets
rebel years ago. Right. If he ever buys the Mets, we're going to be in the World Series all the time because the guy's going to
no question. He would not. He would put it all out there.
He's going to go. He's going to go out and buy everybody.
Yeah. If Magic Johnson had bought the Mets,
but here's the deal.
But you got to give the Mets a little credit. They built the best pitching staff, best young pitching staff I've ever seen for potential. Matt,
who's your favorite? By the way? Who do you think is the best?
My favorite, I think DeGrom. Until anybody proves it, I'll take DeGrom. Let them take over.
Me too. I agree, 100%. He's the best.
Yeah, he's solid. He's not erratic. He's not emotional. I think Harvey is
I think so too.
Wound a little too tightly. And I'm prejudiced because he's a rebel. He's the kid with the long hair, and he had the. You know, he came in and he has moxie. I like him a lot. But the other ones, including the kid that's on the DL, who will be back next year, the guy that gets for Beltran, I can't think of his name right now. They're so deep with these guys, Syndergaard and
I like Syndergaard.
So, and you got to give Cologne. I think Cologne was pitching today. They won 2-0. They got off that horrible losing streak.
No, Cologne lost the other night. He didn't pitch today.
Oh, who pitched today?
I don't know, but Cologne pitched the night before and lost.
Oh yeah, in a tough game too. He lost like 1-0.
Yeah, he lost that game. I like DeGrom a lot, and I'll tell you something. When DeGrom hit the home run. Okay, I watch a lot of Met games on TV. DeGrom hit a home run.
And I listen to him on the radio from out here.
And then like 5 or 7 days later, Syndergaard hits a home run. And the camera, the Mets station, this was not broadcast over the whole nation. This is just a Mets TV station. The camera went straight onto Matt Harvey's face in the dugout after Syndergaard hit the home run. And remember, 7 days before, DeGrom had hit the home run, and he was pissed. And, and Ron Darling and Keith Hernandez in the booth were saying, "Hey, look at that. Look at that." They kept playing it back. He was actually pissed off that Syndergaard had hit a home run because DeGrom had hit a home run before that. And I'm going to tell you something right now. Just like I'm going to predict that Bernie Sanders is going to be cancer to Hillary Clinton and the Democrats, I'm going to predict something right now. In 2018 or 2019, if we're alive, Matt Harvey will be pitching in Yankee Stadium. He will be a Yankee.
Really?
Absolutely, positively, without a doubt. He will be a Yankee. He wants to be a Yankee.
Well, did he say he wants to be a Yankee? It doesn't surprise me because they'll put out the money when he's a free agent. He's not stupid. Mm-hmm. That's one thing. But then again, Wilpon sells the team. All bets are off with that too.
Yeah, well, we'll see. They let Seaver go. They let Seaver go in his prime.
Yeah.
So they're capable of anything. They're capable of anything. The Mets.
The Mets.
Capable of anything.
Absolutely. They've been an embarrassment for a long time. And yet we keep rooting.
It's going to be very, very interesting. For a crazy-ass baseball fan like you and a crazy-ass baseball fan like me, the greatest part of the season is coming up in the next 4 weeks when all the trade rumors are going to be flying around and people are going to be getting traded and this and that. And Hamels is going to go to Texas, or Hamels is going to go to Boston, or Hamels is going to go to L.A., or Price is going to go to L.A., or Hugo's going to go to L.A., or whatever. It's going to be so fantastic. And one of the reasons it's going to be sad also is that the Mets aren't going to do a goddamn thing. They're not going to do
if Lagares' arm was better, and if Granderson hadn't taken a dump after signing with the Mets, because he's been just mediocre and he doesn't have an arm anymore, and he's lackadaisical in the field, and Kadire could get hot, but and the injuries. Let's give the Mets a little credit.
Everybody has injuries, though, Zig.
Not like this. No, Peter, not like this. This has been a year. This is Darno's second time on the DL. They got Wheeler's the guy's name. He's out for a year.
Zach Wheeler.
Blevins was going great guns at the beginning of the year. Left-handed relief specialist, broken arm. He may not come back this year. Wright has been hurt. Imagine what Wright would do for that lineup in the middle of it.
Wright's gone. He's gone.
And I don't think he'll ever be back, to be honest with you.
He's finished.
Right. Yeah.
He's finished.
But they got the money, but the thing is, they're insured. If he ends up being finished, they're insured for his contract. So that would free up some money for the future. But it's a hard thing to determine when a guy with a back is finished. And
I'll tell you what. The difference between a team with money and a team without money is like night and day. The Mets haven't really done a damn thing. All they've done is jockey people up their farm system and down to their farm system, and up from their farm system and down to their farm system. Whereas a team like the Dodgers, who have pockets as deep as the ocean, they've made 66. They've made 66 deals since opening day. 66.
Really? Holy shit. Yeah.
66 different deals since opening day. Andrew Friedman and the boys in the front office there. And watch what they do before the trading deadline. The Dodgers will knock your socks off. Watch what they do. I'm not predicting any names because I have no clue. But they will get the Babe Ruths and the Lou Gehrig's and the Christy Mathewsons, and believe me, they'll go out and they'll get them.
I can't imagine Alderson not doing anything with this pitching staff, especially if you brought up Mats. You're looking at guys that are just incredible potential of winning 90 games if they could get some decent position work. And I think Tejada's going to be a much more range at shortstop. I think he's gotten his work ethic back. I think what Reyes said really got to him and put a bee in his bonnet. And Latin players are very, they're playing in a new country, a different culture. Sometimes it takes them a while to gel. And wouldn't it be something if Tejada was the man? And
it'd be great, believe me. But
yeah,
where's he going to hit in the lineup? Are they going to make him a leadoff hitter again?
That I don't know.
They don't have a leadoff hitter, and they don't have a cleanup.
They don't steal bases. They don't do situational stuff.
They don't have a cleanup hitter either. I mean, when
they need Judah carried him for a while. Judah's a cleanup hitter. Judah will be all right,
Judah's a horse, but he's not a 162 game horse.
No question about that.
Kudayer as a cleanup hitter is a joke.
No, he's not a cleanup hitter, but he'll get hot and start carrying them for a couple of weeks. And you know how baseball is. Guys get hot, guys get cold. You need guys to have that one great month to solidify the season. He's hitting 250 now. He'll hit 280 by the end of the year. And
with all their injuries, with all the injuries the Mets have had, the one that hurt me the most personally was Travis 2 times. Because I believe Travis is not only a good ball player, I believe he's a really good hitter. I really do. I think he's a really good hitter, and they miss his bat. No matter where he hits in the lineup, I don't care if they bat him 8th, 7th, 6th, 5th. It doesn't matter. When he's up, I say to myself, okay, we got a shot here. When other guys come up, I go to the bat. I don't even watch because I know they're going to make it out.
All right. Hey, we're running short on time. I just want to tell you what my biggest disappointment has been so far, is Dilson Herrera not taking second base and running with it, allowing them.
I liked him last year. I even liked him last year. I said, this kid looks good. But like you said, he did not do it. He didn't do it. He just didn't do it.
Hey, thanks for being a guest. You're terrific. I know you'll come back.
Thanks for asking me, Zig. Thanks for asking me.
Well, man, that makes me feel good because it took me a long time to get you for the first time. And we had a good time the first time. Yeah. Better time this time. And I'd like you to be a regular, of course. You're terrific, Peter. Okay. Thanks for being my friend, not just my Facebook friend. And
Ralph, the feeling is
we got a lifetime connect, my friend.
There you go.
All right. So I'm going to wrap it up. I'm going to wrap it up by imploring you, as I do on every segment, every show, to you and all my audience, 5 of you, you're out there, to keep your dreams wet and your humor dry, keep your children out of the offices of military recruiters and off the laps of clerics that wear dresses. Not all bad, just to be on the safe side, keep the family unit intact that way, as opposed to everybody having no fun at all. Because some folks like to frolic with your children, and it's been in all the papers, and I'm warning you, I'm imploring you out there, and especially with the military thing, don't have your kid be fodder. If your kid wants to join the service, have him read Johnny Got His Gun, a 1939, 1919 World War I protest book, and have your child go to a veterans hospital and see how our boys are being treated by the powers that be. And the money is not being allocated in our best interest. So there you go. That's my long-winded ending. I really enjoy your company, Peter. Have a great one.
Thank you, Ralph. And thank you very much.
All right. Everybody out there, the last thing is to keep on keeping on. So adios and happy trails.
Bye-bye.